when the flag of Republicans was unfurled on the temple of Boris in Aquila, an revolution had begun. A grand revolt followed on a scale never seen before in the history of the kingdom, by the peasants no less. One shot for Liberté, hundreds followed after. As the king looked to his friends, his fellow vassal allies, for help, he looked in horror as they were swallowed by the deluge of revolution as well. Vinovia, Pedia, Westkeep and Rila all fell as their royally scourged were cleansed by griffons of all manner. An execution had started under the sky reddened by the griffons. And so, the brave Gerard tried to flee but failed, caught in the flood of fiery peasants that stormed his palace. He drowned like the legacy of his royal line, killed by the very method he adored, using in his ruthless tyrannical rule: beheading. On the eastern border of Aquileia, Maréchal Menard Nocia had led the uprising in Tarion and executed the Discaire Countess, responding Theodore Verani's call to arms. In the barony of Pedia, on the southern border, the Coodinator had overthrew the Baron of Pedia, forming one autonomous commune that's equally shared by the griffons and ponies. The northernmost border of Aquileia was also involved, especially after the independence of Pomavada and Grefraud. Mama Narkia and her children had destroyed the military dictatorship of Westkeep and brought freedom to this land. Similar things were happening in the Duchy of Inovia. The militants of Chevaliers of Fidelity and the radical peasants of Les Amis de Abyssi had worked together to banish the Grand Duke of Inovia. The entirety of the Aquileian drowned in the spirit of revolution. Even the communists and the anarchists could agree to swim with the current rather than against it, and joined close together. Or ever, it would be another situation in the Duchy of Rila. Though the Republicans were taking Rila as the nexus of revolution, the revolutionary clubs of Rila were greatly divided. The revolution in Rila was led by the Committee of Public Safety, but its members not cooperating as bodies. Instead, they fought and stabbed each other in an attempt to gain total domination over Aquileia. No matter the cost, however, the revolution succeeded in driving out the royals in I-80. Theodore Verani and his Republicans had taken over the government. All thought that the Republic would last and herald an Aquileian golden age. At least, that's what we thought. In just under 5 years, traitor Albert Bethelo and his army ruthlessly decimated our forces and returned the Discaire monarchy back to Aquileia. Even worse, the revolutionary clubs were too busy fighting themselves like small petty chickens. Communists backstabbed the anarchists, federalists cheated the constitutional monarchists, some were even working with the royalists, and there was no longer a united front. In Westkeep, General Thomas Reane, who kept order in the name of the royals with an iron fist, had wiped out all the Republicans, killing every griffon who dared to question him. No matter peasants or nobles, they were murdered alike. In Rila, the nexus of revolution, revolutionary clubs were busy fighting themselves. They fought in a vicious cycle of control and ideology that even Republican sympathia Duke Michel Discaire couldn't bear them. The uncle of Maurice Discaire, the now king of Aquileia, was the pirate lord Baron Danise, who used his naval fleet to take over Pedia from the commune, executing many Republicans. It is said the blood of the dead was so enormous, a whaler boat could float in it. As for Vinovia, the newly titled Duke Godifrey Discaire was a merciful ruler. He quickly appeased all the Republicans and tried his best to be a peaceful and qualified monarch, who shall treat his people as his own children. If everything went well, Vinovia was the least likely to break out another revolution again. The great enemy and disputed Republicans had led to the failure of the first revolution, but the spark remains. still within those who dream of those times. The rich were still born as rich, and the poor were still born as poor. For whenever injustice reigns supreme, it is the spirit of the free will that guides the souls of those oppressed. To arms, citoyen, a second revolution beckons. Trust the fact that history will judge events honestly. Glorious and victorious shall belong to you.